So what does a closet full of old army uniforms have to do with the future of an entire nation? Well, today we're breaking down a really powerful opinion piece out of South Korea that puts personal sacrifice right up against national policies the author calls, and I'm quoting here, treasonous. It's a pretty stark warning about a country he believes is at a major crossroads.
You know, the author's argument doesn't kick off with some dry policy paper or a political speech. Nope, it starts right here, in a family closet with the quiet, physical weight of 5 camouflage uniforms. It's such a personal image, and it really grounds everything he's about to say in the real world of duty and family.
And this is where he really anchors his entire point, not in some abstract idea, but in something you can literally touch and see, military duty being passed down from father to son over and over again.
And he's not just being poetic about it, he lays it all out. 5 uniforms, 5 caps, 5 pairs of boots. He talks about this incredible feeling of déjà vu, like he's looking at this long line of family service stretching all the way back through time. And right here, this is where the past and present just collide. The author is driving his own son to reserve training, probably the exact same thing his father did for him. It's this repeating cycle of service, this sense of just answering the call, no questions asked, that really forms the moral foundation for his whole argument. So coming from that very personal place of sacrifice, the author then takes a really sharp turn. He launches into this blistering critique of national policy. And he asks this just devastating question. Is all this duty, all this sacrifice, actually being honored? Or is it just being thrown away?
This slide really just lays it all out, the huge disconnect he sees. On one side, you've got the average person's contribution. They're losing income from work, paying for things out of pocket. And on the other side, well, you have what the author labels self-destruct policies. Things like, in his view, weakening surveillance by restoring a military agreement, or getting rid of the country's drone command. For him, these two columns aren't just unbalanced. They represent a profound betrayal.
And yeah, he does not pull any punches. He uses the phrase treasonous act. He's basically arguing that these aren't just mistakes or bureaucratic fumbles, but a straight-up betrayal of national security. And he seems to worry that while everyone's busy watching their stocks, the actual foundation of the country is cracking.
So to really drive his point home, the author zooms in on one critical example of what he sees as a massive strategic failure, the whole issue of drone warfare. He argues this isn't just about some new gadget, it's about a failure to understand what the battlefield of the future is even going to look like.
And this is a really key distinction he makes. He says a drone isn't just a slightly better version of an old weapon. It's like inventing the car when everyone else is still riding horses. He sees it as a total game changer that rewrites all the rules of war. And to ignore that, in his view, is just a catastrophic mistake.
So what's the answer? Well, the author points to a colleague's idea, and it's a bold one, built on 3 over principles. First, you have to overinvest, even when it feels like too much. Second, you have to overprotect the new drone units from all the old, slow-moving bureaucracy. And third, you have to overtolerate early mistakes, because that's just the price you pay for real innovation. Now, this whole debate over drones, it's really just one part of a much bigger picture he's painting. He then zooms out to look at what's really on the line here. South Korea's incredibly powerful military and the kind of lonely position that puts them in. Fifth, South Korea's military is ranked 5th in the entire world. For the author, that's not just some statistic. It's a testament to decades of relentless focus. I mean, think about it. If you take out the big 4, the US, China, Russia, and India, South Korea is right there at the top.
And he is absolutely adamant that you can't just buy this kind of power. He argues it was earned through 70 years of national sacrifice. Literally, the blood and sweat of generations, from the Korean War right up to today.
But here's the kicker. According to the author, a high rank doesn't automatically equal security. He warns that a lone defense is a very vulnerable defense. True security, he insists, needs the whole package. Rock-solid alliances, integrated tech, and a laser focus on those game-changing weapons like drones and advanced missiles.
And all of this leads to the author's final and maybe his most sobering warning. It's not just about one policy or one weapon system anymore. It's about a fundamental change he thinks he sees in the country's very character, a direction he finds seriously alarming.
He lays out this 3-stage theory of national decline. So, stage 1, a community held together by shared beliefs, like patriotism. Stage 2, that shifts to a community held together by shared economic interests. But then you get to stage 3,
And this is the danger zone for him, a community where it's all about narrow, private self-interest, and the public good gets left behind.
And that brings us to his last, urgent plea. He claims there are politicians so caught up in what he calls shareholder community games that they're speeding up this slide into a nation of pure self-interest, completely ignoring the basics of national security. To him, this isn't just a worrying trend, it's a freight train that has to be stopped.
And so the author leaves us with this really provocative question. If a country becomes a nation of shareholders, where everyone is just laser-focused on their own personal portfolio, who's left to actually mind the store? Who is looking out for the shared project of the nation itself? It's a heavy question, and it really forces you to think about where that line is between personal gain and the common good.